The North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria has reserved judgment in the court application by civil society groups Corruption Watch and Right to Know to review and set aside the findings of the Seriti Inquiry, which was appointed by former President Jacob Zuma in 2011 to investigate alleged corruption in the multi-billion rand arms procurement deal in 1999. The court application comes after Judge Willie Seriti, who headed the commission, exonerated politicians of wrongdoing when he released his report in 2016. Advocate Geoff Budlender argued before a full bench of judges that the arms deal inquiry failed to carry out its constitutional functions of investigating allegations of fraud and corruption regarding the deal. Well, for more on this story, we cross to our reporter, Sipho Stuurman, who's standing by for us in Pretoria. Sipho, judgment has been reserved. Tell us more.
Indeed, a judgment has been reserved. We expected this, a hearing here to have lasted for 2 days, but it was very quick with just Corruption Watch and the presidency making representation. Of course, Corruption Watch saying the Seriti inquiry just failed to do its job and exonerated implicated individuals, and says it ignored key evidence, and so it says it cannot stand that 137 million rands of public funds were spent into this commission, and certainly despite what they say is incriminating evidence, nobody was found to have been done or wrong or guilty of any wrongdoing. We also know that the presidency also came here to say, the presidency that is under Cyril Ramaphosa, that they would abide by the court findings in terms of how it will take this review forward. We also know, of course, under President Zuma, he had indicated that he would oppose the application seeking to review the Seriti commission, but you also know that President Zuma himself is facing corruption charges there in the Durban High Court, where he's applied for a stay of prosecution, citing that this Seriti commission never found any wrongdoing on his part. So part of what Corruption Watch is arguing is that people that have questions to answer are citing this commission's report, saying that, well, if this commission had found us to not be guilty, then certainly we have not done any wrongdoing. So they want that to be rectified, and they want the court to set aside the findings of the Seriti Commission. Nompu.
So, Sipho, in the event that things do go their way, that is in terms of the Right to Know and Corruption Watch, what happens thereafter? Would they then expect another inquiry to happen? What would happen?
Indeed, and I did pose this question to Corruption Watch, and they're saying that, well, they don't want any more waste of public funds. I mean, already 137 million rands has been spent on this, but what they're saying is that they want justice to prevail, and for this review to be set aside, rather the findings of the commission to be set aside, so that bodies like the NPA can then go ahead and prosecute and not have implicated individuals going to court, for lengthy legal arguments and, arguing that, well, we've been cleared by this commission, whereas if this then commission's findings can be set aside, then it would make the work of the bodies such as the NPA easier in terms of going ahead and prosecuting those that are implicated. But I also must state that the findings of this commission are not binding. So in the sense that the NPA can still go ahead and prosecute those cases or those that are implicated, as we are seeing the NPA prosecuting the former president Jacob Zuma. So certainly Corruption Watch does not want another commission of inquiry into this matter. They say that these commissions of inquiries are wasting public funds. 137 million was spent here, but they want the truth to prevail.
All right, Sipho, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for your report.